Ladies and gentlemen, I know this topic has shocked most of you. Most of you did not expect me to do this video with this topic at this particular stage. But the fact remains, according from my own analysis, there's a problem between Rigathi Gachagua and Dr. Kengo Fred Matiang'i. On this particular video, I'm going to take you through on some of the signs that there are problems. And of course, later on, I'll give you the reasons as to why these signs came up eventually. But before I do so, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mukwa Times, please take a second or two to subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give the channel. Without much wasting of time, allow me dive into this topic here today. Ladies and gentlemen, why am I saying that there are problems between Rigathi Gachagua and Dr. Kengo Fred Matiang'i? In Dr. Kengo Fred Matiang'i's tour to Meru, Dr. Kengo Fred Matiang'i was welcomed by Peter Munya. And it happened just before Rigathi Gachagua came. In Dr. Kengo Fred Matiang'i's tour, Peter Munya was there, but Rigathi Gachagua's allies were not welcome. Reasons: either told to keep off or never invited. Those two options can only occur if there's a problem. If there's a united opposition indeed, we could have seen Dr. Kengo Fred Matiang'i even inviting Mithika Lenturi and many other opposition leaders allied to Rigathi Gachagua. Or we could have Rigathi Gachagua sent his trips to go and join Dr. Kengo Fred Matiang'i. Matiang'i came out and said there were greetings from Rigathi Gachagua. That is a political statement. But according to my observation, there's a problem. Number two, recently, a gentleman by the name Ndegwa Njeru came out on a local stations of Mount Kenya and said Dr. Kengo Fred Matiang'i is a project. I know in politics you cannot just dispute things. But for a person of that caliber, close to Kalonzo Musyoka, a lawyer of Rigathi Gachagua, to come out and allege that there is a problem and that Dr. Kengo Fred Matiang'i is a project, there must be discussions that have been held, and you can't tell me if he speaks to Kalonzo Musyoka on the same, Kalonzo will not share with Gachagua. Or if he speaks to Gachagua on the same, Gachagua will not share with Kalonzo. Already we know it's a discussion that had occurred between these three plus many other people who are allied towards Gachagua and Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. And for Ndegwa Njeru to come out and say it, there must have been an agreement between Kalonzo Musyoka and Gachagua. So far, it's only Ndegwa Njeru who has apologized. But Rigathi Gachagua and Dr. Kengo Fred, and Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka are quiet on that. That was a very strong allegation that was made. Of course, Dr. Kengo Fred Matiang'i treated it very lowly, kept quiet, did not respond to such kind of an allegation. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a sign that there's a problem. If everything was okay, we could not have seen Ndegwa Njeru just come out and speak the way he did. That is my sign number two, that there's a problem within the opposition, Dr. Kengo Fred Matiang'i and Gachagua. Apart from that, if you all remember when Dr. Kengo Fred Matiang'i came here in the country the first time, the second actually, he conducted a tour to Western Kenya. During that time, they had two parallel meetings that were supposed to happen. But they later on felt like it's good they come together and harmonize the meetings. In that, Gachagua was planning to go to Western at the same time. What I was wondering, who said that I'm going there first? I'll confirm about that and I'll later on inform you who was the first to say that he's going to have a meeting in Western Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, when the meeting of Western Kenya was organized, there was a feeling that Dr. Kengo Fred Matiang'i is doing things by himself. And in fact, for those who followed the interview that was done to him by Sami Githuku.
Dr. Fred, again, politics happens in reality. We've seen you. I think there was a meeting at a round table when you just had come back. Then there was a conversation in Wamunyoro that you attended. After that, I think I've seen you at the Kenyatta National Hospital holding a press conference. But your colleagues in the opposition have been having several meetings. As late as, I think, is it yesterday in Narok? We've not seen you. Where are you?
Well, you see, first of all, everyone is promoting their party. I mean, I was in Thika yesterday. The day before yesterday, you didn't see my colleagues there. It doesn't mean that when you are together as a group, you all huddle together, you have to go to the same place together and be there. It doesn't work like that. It's not a roll call that we take.
How is it that them they are together, you are just by yourself?
But again, you know, Sam, you're the one who said on Thursday we were together at Kenyatta National Hospital with...
There was a press conference.
I was there, we were there the whole morning with the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka and Eugene Wamalwa. The meeting we had when here in Karen, we were all together in the same room. In Wamunyoro, we were all together. I mean, you cited these things yourself.
You were not there in Narok.
But that's one incident, and I was not there in Mombasa either. And then they look around. If you look carefully,
so why?
The others who are not...
It looks like you're working by yourself.
I am not working by myself.
Yep.
Let's begin. I'm not working. I don't know where you're going with this, but I'm not working by myself.
Sami Githuku was specifically sent to ask that question to Dr. King of Fred Matiang'i, that why is he operating alone? So the tour could have confirmed the bad signs within the opposition. But now, Matiang'i was smart enough with the Natembea to combine the tour, that one of Rigiji and the one that he had organized to Western Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, Matiang'i had many other rallies when he came to the country that were organized. But because of the push for him to work with these others, I feel strongly some of these tours were cancelled. Now, as we speak today, we all know that politics, nothing just happens out of mere coincidence. There must be something that has been planned or resulting to some of these things to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I also informed you that I'm going to give you reasons as to why I feel problems developed between Rigathi Gachagua and Dr. King of Fred Matiang'i, where in general it started. If you remember when Dr. King of Fred Matiang'i announced his bid, Rigathi Gachagua as well, Kalonzo Musyoka as well, Eugene Wamalwa, Martha Karua and the others. Ladies and gentlemen, Rigathi Gachagua came out and said, go form your party. To Matiang'i, go to Kisii, form your party and let it be the party of the Kisii people. And then later on, we all come together at the table and share about the issue of what you have on the table.
Dawa ya coalition ni kila mtu akuwe na chama yake. Hiyo ndio dawa ya coalition. Any meaningful coalition ambaye itadumu ni kila mtu akuwe na chama yake. Ndio ikuwe structured party to party. Kwa sababu mimi siwezi ingia mkataba na Fred Matiang'i as individuals kwa sababu tunaongoza watu. We cannot enter into a personal relationship. Lazima ikuwe structured with an institutionalized. So ndio siasa hii ya Kenya ikuwe na heshima, ni vyama watu waingie kwa coalition na chama zao.
Dr. King of Fred Matiang'i did not do that. He kept his plan. He went instead for the Jubilee Party. And I'm strongly convinced that he's going for the Jubilee Party or PNU, but mostly Jubilee. That disagreement, it did not augur well with Rigathi Gachagua. That is number one. So therefore, you don't expect Rigathi Gachagua to be happy or Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka when we are having Dr. King of Fred Matiang'i coming up with a party that is going to some extent rival him in Mount Kenya region. That is number one. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. King of Fred Matiang'i had his political plan with his political friends who are going to help him execute his mandate as a presidential candidate. What I want to tell you here authoritatively is that most of the friends of Dr. King of Fred Matiang'i are not friends to Rigathi Gachagua. And most of the friends of Dr. King of Fred Matiang'i are very close to Uhuru Kenyatta and were in the previous government. So how on earth is Dr. King of Fred Matiang'i's friends going to allow Matiang'i to work with Rigathi Gachagua? That means if Matiang'i wants to work with Gachagua, Matiang'i has to dump the friends he has that are close to Uhuru Kenyatta and are enemies to Rigathi Gachagua, for them to trust each other. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not possible because Matiang'i's political background lies entirely with the Jubilee people. We've also seen, ladies and gentlemen, some Jubilee members in government. Matiang'i Kagwe, probably, they said he's not from Jubilee, but he was a close ally of Uhuru Kenyatta. Liki Nyanjui. We have some other members of parliament who are working with the broad-based government. So such kind of a thing can be able to bring a problem between Rigathi Gachagua, Dr. King Fred Matiang'i. Ladies and gentlemen, apart from that, Rigiji has his own plan. Matiang'i has his own plan as well in relation to the Mount Kenya votes. When the two try to execute their plans, they collide somewhere. My take as far as this topic is concerned is this. If these leaders work together, they can beat President William Ruto very early in the morning. And that the opposition should not make a mistake to part ways now. If they part ways, let them unite after the runoff. That one, I'm okay with it. But if they disagree now, let them part ways, execute their plans, but I know there'll be no 50+1. And then after the round 1, they unite for round 2. I don't know what's your take, but in the comment section, I feel strongly that is what is happening as far as Rigathi Gachagua and Dr. Okengo Fred Matiang'i is concerned.